other Thursday, we're taking a look at a health issue or concern affecting many people. We're breaking down the information for you and telling you what you need to know to keep you and your ohana healthy. Now, in today's Ask a Doctor segment, Dr. Kalani Brady from the John A. Burns School of Medicine joins us with more on the coronavirus. Good morning, Dr. Brady.
Good morning, Kelly.
And today specifically, we're talking about mask effectiveness because there was a new study that came out, right?
Correct.
So what were the findings of that?
Well, let's first review what a mask does.
Okay.
Coronavirus is a respiratory droplet transmission virus. For up to 6 feet away, someone coughing, sneezing, or even talking loudly can spread these droplet nuclei, which in the recipient are breathed in and can establish in the lung and cause coronavirus. So in medicine, we have been using masks for decades. Surgical masks are a perfect example of that. In that situation, the mask is designed to prevent any droplet nuclei from ending up in a surgical site during an operation. In masks that we use for coronavirus, not only is the mask to prevent transmission from somebody who may have it, but it is to protect us from inhaling droplet nuclei from somebody who may have coronavirus.
Right, and there are a lot of different ways to cover your face. There's the face shields, there's the cloth masks, there's the N95 masks. So when it comes down to it, is one better than the other? Are they all as effective as we think they are?
No, they are not all as effective as one another. This study was done at Duke University, a very reputable medical center on the East Coast. And what their findings were is that surgical masks and N95 masks are by far the most effective at preventing both transmission and reception of droplet nuclei. In addition to that, the cotton masks that we have that we had a run on with everybody making cotton masks for their friends, family, and acquaintances are pretty effective at preventing transmission. So those you should use as well. The masks that are not as effective are masks like neck fleeces and bandanas, things that are made of single layer of cotton material. A lot of droplet nuclei, according to this study, have gone through those masks, and basically you should avoid those masks and use a cotton mask or an N95 mask. So it makes a difference what mask we use. In addition to that, here's a mask. This is a cloth mask, and I'll put it on, and this is how it should be worn. It should cover the mouth and nose. There are people that use the mask incorrectly and they drop it below the nose. When they do that, it's not effective. Or when they raise it above to speak more clearly, it's not as effective. So this is the perfect covering that they should use and try for when they're using the mask. So not this way and not the other way.
Okay, good to know. Because, again, it's one thing to be wearing a mask, but if you're not wearing it properly, then you're not really protecting yourself or others. And when it comes to, I want to go back to that study real quick, because you did mention, that the fleeces may not be as effective. Is that just because of the thickness of the material, or does it have something to do with the fact that it's also touching your neck?
No, it has more to do with the thickness of the material. they found at Duke that triple thick material is more effective than double thick, is more effective than fleeces that are single layer.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if now after the study, more of the neck fleeces are going to be thicker to hopefully get people to still want to use their products. All right, and when it comes to, okay, we talked about properly wearing a mask. How about properly disinfecting a mask? Because I've seen a lot of different things, you know, the lights, the washing. What are you supposed to be doing to your mask?
This mask that I just had on, once it's used and begins to fray, should be thrown out.
Okay.
There's no way to really reuse that mask effectively. There are the hospital masks, which hospitals treat with ultraviolet radiation, but it's certain specific radiation that the common public doesn't have access to. As for the cloth masks, every couple of days, you should wash them in the washing machine with soap and water.
Okay, good to know. And is it specific? Should you do warm water, cold water? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I wash my masks in warm water with a cold rinse.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to do what Dr. Brady does because that's how you know you're doing it right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brady, for joining us this morning and breaking down those different types of masks and how we should be wearing them.
You're welcome.
All right. And
good to see you, Kelly.
Yes, good to see you too, Dr. Brady. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect. All right. Have a beautiful day and a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Thank you.